Hello, and this is the intro time for tonight's episode of the Super Divorce Supercast, episode 95.
Damn. Nice.
Five more,
and we're gonna have a 100th episode special. I'm gonna get my mom on here.
That's big.
Yeah, we'll get Andrew on here. Get Jeff's on here.
Get Jeff's.
We'll get Lazarus on here. We really should like reach out to our band friends and see if somebody wants to come over and cast with us. Dynamite, Abertooth, somebody.
Yeah.
You know, even just a couple of them. If we do something like that, we could. You know, I know you have a house.
Yeah.
And but if we do something like that, we could cast at my house because larger sitting areas that we could sort of all accommodate,
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to squeeze many people into my office.
Probably not, no. But we could set up in like my living room and rotate people in and out.
Yeah. We'll have to look into this, guys.
Yeah.
We got to do something cool, though.
Uh-huh.
So, until then, and before we get into this episode, please, if you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and hit the bell, bong the gong for notifications so that you know when we go live. We do live videos every day, and that's something fun to follow along with, to keep up with your boys throughout the week. Let's see, leave a comment. Here if you have any questions, concerns, comments, leave a comment. We always comment back on YouTube videos if that's where you're listening. If not, thanks for listening anyway. And if you'd like to pick up a copy of our newest album, Action Figures, you can do that at superdivorceme.com. You can get it on CD, cassette tape, or vinyl record. Or you can just listen to it on Spotify too, if you just want to go the route that's easier on your pocketbook.
Yeah. Follow us on Spotify though.
But please do, yeah. Follow us there.
Whatever it is, subscribe, follow, whatever that button says. I don't know.
I think it says follow.
I think it says follow.
We're on iTunes as well.
Yeah.
So or Apple Music, that's like their thing. So all over the place, guys. Facebook.com/superdivorce, Twitter @superdivorce, and Instagram @superdivorceband. If you would like to follow me on social media, just look me up on Twitter @Nicholas Villars, or on Instagram, I guess, @Nicholas Villars as well.
If you'd like to follow me on social media, you can find me on Instagram @BenderButt. Please also head on over to Facebook and go to facebook.com/MondayMomsterMovies. That's my weekly show with my mom where I make her watch horror movies and then force her to talk about it. We're also on Instagram @MondayMomsterMovies, so look us up there and give us a follow. And that is it for my self-promotion.
Okay. So today what do we do? I feel like we danced around on Star Wars.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, that was kind of the crux of the cast, but we had a couple of visits to the sidebar.
Yeah, a few visits to the sidebar.
Here and there, but it sort of all circled back around Star Wars eventually.
Mostly, yeah. But it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Lively cast, not much downtime, so please look forward to this episode.
Enjoy, chefs.
We are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce.
Wait for
Super
divorce.
Hey man, welcome to the Super Divorce Supercast. This is your buddy Nicholas here.
And this is your buddy Bender here.
How's it going?
It's
going.
We hope it's going for you too.
Hope it's going for you. It's better than if it's not going.
Yeah.
So, I hope it's going. It's a Thursday for us. It's probably not a Thursday for you.
No.
If you're listening on the day it came out. If you're listening a week from now.
Possibly.
It might be a Thursday.
Yeah.
Or even several years from now. It could be a Thursday in 2021 when you're listening to this.
And we're famous, and you're going back through and discovering old supercasts and
just getting acquainted with the early Super Divorce.
Yeah, the early Super Divorce.
Even though at this moment, this is not the early Super Divorce.
Not for us, no.
You had just rediscovered an early Super Divorce video today that we watched when we went downstairs and practices.
Yeah. I discovered it maybe, I don't know, a couple weeks ago or something. I was just, I have a habit where, I don't know, I enjoy scrolling through I scroll through my own Instagram like all the time. Mm-hmm. It's like almost a daily thing. I just look at my own fucking shit. But I also I go to Super Divorce's Instagram and scroll through it, and I go to Sleep Star's Instagram and kind of scroll through it. And so with that, on the old Super Divorce Instagram, I went back a ways and found a video from when we were still a 4-piece, and just a little comedy sketch from practice one time, and we watched it and reminisced and had a good laugh because it was pretty stupid. Mm-hmm. But funny. It
was funny.
We were also just having a conversation right before we started about, particularly Nick's sense of humor, but I was just complimenting him on it and how much I enjoy it, and it's one of the big reasons that we're brothers.
And I said thank you. I'm glad you enjoy my sense of humor and you don't find it annoying
not even a little
or lame. Because probably a lot of people would think my sense of humor is lame or non-existent. Even.
Yeah,
they might not pick up on it at all.
No, it's not. You don't have like a dry sense of humor. You just have like it's so subtle.
It's oftentimes it's very, very subtle.
And also just kind of like off the wall. Like, it's not funny to most people, but for example, the pasta video on YouTube. My meal of choice. My meal of choice. My meal of choice. Pasta.
What kind of jazz music?
It's so funny. It's just fucking drums.
I was when I was putting that together, my buddy Jason, who you've maybe heard on this podcast a time or two, at least twice. He's been on here for our year-end music review, and he might have dropped in once or twice other than that, but
possibly.
He's the one who requested that I do something with that GSP video. He sent me the clip of him on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was like, can you loop him saying
fettuccine
Alfredo, yeah. I was like, I'll do something with it. And then I was like, when I started working on it, I was like, should I try and get really elaborate and make it like a, some sort of electro pop or dance
like
song?
An auto-tune video type thing.
But then I just put the drums in. And it was just like, it kind of allows, I felt bad for a minute because I was like, I kind of feel lazy, but I kind of don't want to add anything else to it because it just seems so good. It was
so funny. And it's just I absolutely love, he says pasta, the drum beat starts, and then it's just like a dude's hands just making pasta from scratch, kneading dough. It's just like I was like, oh my god. And it's just, nobody thinks it's funny except me, maybe Andrew, probably Jason.
Yeah.
Kyle might find some amusement in it.
Yeah, I posted it on the I post on the MMA subreddit, if you're not familiar. The man in this video is George St. Pierre, who is one of the greatest fighters of all time. And so I posted it on there, and within 1 minute, it had been removed by the mods. So it didn't last very long.
Yeah.
But there is one. I think there are a couple comments on it. I think, people who've enjoyed it.
I just think it's such a, it's one of you. I don't know. I think it's just you. I don't think it stems from your possibly stems from like your submersion in pop culture.
Yeah.
But you have one of those sense of humors where it's like you watch a video and you just go, who makes that? Who thinks that, like that one guy with you're my you're my one size fits all favorite friend.
Nate Bernat Yeah, Nate Bernat, I think is how he says it.
Yeah, Nate Bernat. And it's just like, I just watch those videos and they're hilarious, but I'm just like, what mindset do you have to be in to put yourself on camera? And the video you didn't make, you're not on it, but to put yourself on camera and just go, you're my one size fits all favorite friend. I'll put you in my pocket and keep you for later. Like, what?
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
You have like a Tim and Eric sense of humor where it's just like, where does this joke even come from? But it's fucking funny.
I don't know, because I used to make comics like that when I was in high school, and everyone was always surprised when they found out that like I didn't smoke pot. I never drank in high school. I never did shrooms or psychedelics or anything. But I'd like show these little comics that I drew to people, and they'd be like, "What the hell are you on, man?" And it's like nothing. It's just weird. I just like drawing weird shit. It's just funny.
I never particularly found like Tim and Eric funny. Some of their stuff is funny.
Yeah.
Some of it I don't really. It is kind of like it's way too out there. But I think because I spend so much time around you, I've gotten used to like your mannerisms, and then like so when you do things, I just like it's so you, and I fucking get it, and it's
yeah.
I love it. It's one of my favorite things about our friendship.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we could take this inside look at my sense of humor.
It's just great.
So.
I really appreciate it. Again, the joke you sent me earlier today was just so. It was so far up my alley. I probably needed to have my prostate checked. You know?
I when I was at the tattoo studio earlier today, booking some appointments for people, I saw that someone had left a note for a client with the last name Kessel.
Jen Kessel.
Yeah.
It's like, call so-and-so, call Jen Kessel about such and such tattoo or something.
So I took a picture of the name and I sent it to Bender, and
I got the picture first.
The picture came first.
And I was just like, I don't understand. I thought it was like a note of somebody trying to hook up with SUPERDIVORCE, trying to like market with us or something like that. But then he sends...
And then after I sent the picture, I said, rumor has it she had an event named after her in high school, track and field.
And as soon as I read that comment, as soon as I read track and field, I instantly got it. And I could not stop laughing.
It's the Kessel Run.
The Kessel Run.
So.
It's too funny.
Yeah.
So good.
See, Andrew has an aversion to a lot of my jokes. He often makes the motion as if his chest is hurting, like it's gonna give him a heart attack, because
the joke is so bad.
Yeah, the puns are like so bad that it's just it makes him seize up a little bit. So
I love. It's not a good pun if you don't get an eye roll out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like. I love making puns and people just going, shut up!
Yeah. Like a guy that I used to be in The Beast with, Kip, his wife, at one point, he was like, she puns way too much. And I was like, how can you pun too much?
Right?
And he was like, no, it's like constant. And I was like, that's great.
Exactly.
He was like, why not? He's like, it's just too much, like too much punning.
There's no such thing as too much punning.
No, I don't think so. I think it takes a quick wit.
Yeah, it does.
To put together a good pun.
It does indeed.
So all you haters out there who just have these averse reactions to puns.
It's just because you're not good at it.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is. You wish you could, but... Hello.
Hi, Jeff.
What's up?
Hello. I was wondering if you have the baby monitor receiver in here.
The baby monitor receiver?
Yeah, like the video stream. It's okay.
I don't know. I don't see it anywhere.
It's probably downstairs.
This is It is a mess in here right now, though, so I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, I don't know.
That's all right. I successfully finally laid him down and was co-sleeper for the first time. So.
The baby's laying down co-sleeper.
Yeah. He'll
Oh,
sleep anywhere
awesome.
else, just not the spot right next to my bed for some reason.
Well,
But all right. Well, have a good podcast, friends.
Well, thank you.
goodbye.
Mhm.
Would you mind to hand me that? Thank you.
You're welcome.
We usually don't get this far into the show before doing Beer Me.
No, we don't. We don't, but now's the time.
Now is the time.
As good a time as any.
Now's the time. My time of choice.
My time of choice. Now.
Here you go.
Thank you. I suppose I should grab my own here.
So we're going to start with an old standby.
Yeah, we do have a new beer today, but we're going to kick it off with me not being able to open the bottle.
Oh, that opener is a little tricky.
It is tricky. Oh,
It's
I'm like so ashamed, but also I love that we as Midwesterners say "ope."
every time that I've said that recently, I've thought about
How it's not a national thing.
yeah. I just
Rocks your world,
I've been-
doesn't it?
Yeah, I've been catching myself constantly. I realize how much I say it, and then like it's so weird.
You can't do it.
Bender's handing me his beer to open.
I'm struggling. Oh,
Oh,
don't. But what you need to do, if you catch yourself saying it, don't stop yourself from saying it.
No, I'm not
It makes us-
stopping.
it makes us unique.
yeah, I like the ope. I would recommend the ope to anyone.
Yeah, it's a great, just like it's a universal term for like I'm sorry, excuse me, pardon. I you know.
It's like a better oops.
Yeah. Oops.
Ope.
Oh.
I think it gets the point across faster.
Then oops.
Oops. Oh.
Oh.
I like to do it when you see someone make a mistake.
Yeah.
Like if someone,
You see somebody else and you go, oh.
yeah. Like a guy walks into a room and trips and like his drink drops and oh.
Oh. But you also refer to yourself when you make a mistake.
Yeah.
You drop something, I go,
Oh. Oh.
crap.
Yeah. Spill a little splash. Oh. Yeah. I really recommend the ope if you
Hi,
were
we're from Ohio.
Yeah,
This is
if
how
you're not a Midwesterner, try the ope out for a week
Yeah, give
and
it a
see what you
shot.
think. Try
it
and
a
make
shot.
a conscious effort to say ope. There's like O
O-P-E.
OPE,
OPE.
but it's not like a hard P.
No.
It's not ope. You
No.
don't get a hard P sound. It's
You
just
just
ope,
get a, oh,
ope. But if you spelled it, it would be OPE.
yeah. It's like you're about to say P, but you close your mouth beforehand. Like,
Yeah.
So the P doesn't come out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Ope.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cheers. We're
Cheers.
having a Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Did we say that already?
No.
I just said it was an old standby. It's probably still my favorite Oktoberfest.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. And I've had many at this point.
Yeah.
So I've been a fan of this beer for a long time.
My beer of choice.
This probably
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a quick wit.
There you go. That's how it's done. This probably is my beer of choice. If I fell in love with this beer probably around 2006 or 7
Uh-huh.
because Sam Adams was the first big boy beer that I started drinking regularly.
Yeah, I think you told me that.
Yeah.
And you've talked about how when it was like, I don't know, you started drinking it or whatever, people thought it was too hoppy.
Yeah, it was a big deal
hoppy
back then
Deal thing. But
Yeah.
now it's
because you didn't have IPAs littering the shelves. It was
Right.
like people were used to like Budweiser and Bud Light, and then they'd have a Sam Adams and it like blows their face off, but now it's just like, now it's mild. It's like easy drinking.
right.
Because people have gone so insane with their hops. But I think it's still wonderful, and I think their Oktoberfest is just superb.
It is good. I think that I like the Oktoberfest better than the Boston Lager.
I do too.
But I'm also not a particular fan of the lager.
Mm-hmm.
I don't particularly care for Sam Adams. But this Oktoberfest is hitting the spot, so to speak.
It's got a much smoother finish than the Boston Lager does.
Yeah.
The Boston Lager, I mean, I understand if you're not like a beer drinker, really, just the type of guy who's going to go out or gal who's going to go out and grab a 6-pack and sit down with it. You have like the occasional Bud Light. If you jump to a Sam Adams, there will be a little bit of a period of adjustment, we'll say. I went through it myself. I worked through it.
Yeah.
I didn't love it the first time I tried it. It was more of an homage. I've maybe told this story before, but in high school, my friend's dad always had Sam Adams in his fridge, and I never saw it anywhere else. Like, it was before Sam Adams was everywhere, like all over the place, you know, and I always saw that beer, and it had like Brewer Patriot on the side of the little 12-pack or whatever, and I was always like, man, that looks like a really cool beer. I don't even know what this is. I never hear anyone talking about Sam Adams beer. I think maybe it got some exposure when Chappelle did the Sam Jackson beer skit. But, back in 2002, 2003, Sam Adams was not all over the place, folks. May seem commonplace now, but it was not at one point. And I always thought that my friend's dad was a pretty cool guy. So when it came time for me to go out and buy my beer of choice, that's when I decided to try Sam Adams. I was like, this seems like it's worth working through.
Yeah.
I will not work through the endless barrage of IPAs that are
plaguing.
Our shelves. I was going to say, I'm glad you said plague. I was going to say adorn. No,
plaguing.
That's the wrong word. Plaguing is the right word.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, speaking of plaguing, this is another thing from at the shop today. Someone asked about getting some piercings done.
Yeah.
And and they said they wanted to come in tomorrow night, and they were wondering how much it would cost to get the daith and tragus done at the same time. And that made me think of, see if you have the same thought.
I was thinking, daith tragus sounds like an Old Republic character.
Exactly.
That's immediately where I went. They want to get their daith and tragus. Whoa, I think he killed some Jedi. We need to write Star Wars fan fiction for Darth Tragus.
Yeah. So, just a tidbit. Yeah. It is funny. That you had it's like if you're steeped in that universe at all, you hear that.
You get it immediately.
Yeah. Daith Tragus.
Daith Tragus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the second best Star Wars joke today.
Maybe JJ could take that for episode 9.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I feel like we can talk about some Star Wars. Have you heard the news?
Not much.
From the past couple days?
I honestly think the last news I heard... Wait. Did they release some casting or something? Or was that something else that I saw?
They released some casting stuff last week.
Okay. I think the last news I heard was, I saw the picture, and that was because of your YouTube video.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard any updates since.
Well, there are rumblings.
Oh God.
That this is going to be the longest Star Wars movie ever up to this point. So long, in fact, that they might split it into 2 movies.
Bullshit. That is such bullshit. I do not want a 9-part one. How
So-
ridiculous is
So
that?
how would you feel about this? What if it was just episode 9 and 10? And they stopped doing trilogies and used the Star Wars story movies to build up to the numbered entries the way that the Marvel movies build up to Avengers flicks.
Well, and you've mentioned that before.
Yeah.
That idea. And that's fine. I mean, I think that's an okay idea. I'm not sure that's where they're headed. But if they decide to head in that direction, then okay. I'd get on board with it.
I'm with you, though. I don't want an episode 9, part 1, and part 2. That idea just really turns me off. It's like,
If they're really going to do that, they need to do 9 and 10. Do not give me a numbered entry in 2 parts.
I did see a fantastic idea earlier today on Twitter.
Did you?
Someone had the idea to hold on, I'm gonna pull it up so I can give them their proper due. I gotta give them credit for this because it's I actually tweeted and I said genius. So at Subversive Jake said, secrets from the set point to Star Wars 9 being so long, in fact, that Disney and Lucasfilm are reportedly considering a Hunger Games move, chopping this final sequel into 2 parts. Great idea. Call the first part episode 8 and the second part episode 9.
All right.
Yeah,
That guy wins.
I think so. That's as good as it gets on that one.
Yep. That's the best joke we're going to get out of this situation.
Mm-hmm. But realistically, I feel like it's probably going to be 9, 1, and 2.
That just doesn't... It
Does it seem like... does that seem more out of place in the Star Wars universe than breaking with the tradition of doing trilogies?
Yes. I think separating a numbered entry seems more out of place than doing 9 and then making 10 a continuation of 9 and then, kind of going from there. Like, just being like, all right, no more trilogies, 9 bleeds into 10, then we're going to do 10, 11, 12, 13, blah, blah, blah.
Whenever we get to them, basically. Whenever we build up to a new numbered entry, you'll know it's going to be a big Star Wars film that like bring in a lot of the characters from the universe as opposed to focusing on like just a few.
It's interesting to think about because you don't think of... I don't know. I don't want to see Star Wars follow the pattern of hero movie, hero movie, hero movie, team hero movie, hero. I want... And with Marvel, it's like that's the point. You have heroes, you have people that have their own stories by themselves, and then and now I think in the old EU, you were able to sort of expand on Luke Skywalker, but a lot of that was like post trilogy. There wasn't a lot of what was Luke Skywalker doing on Tatooine for the first 17 years of his life. Like, there's not really an origin story. Like, A New Hope is his origin story.
Right.
There
wouldn't be much there if you tried to do one.
Right. There's a couple comics about, like... Because I have a large hardcover of specifically Luke Skywalker comics. And in one, there is a story about him flying his T-16, with a friend or whatever, and I think one of them crashes and they're lost in the desert for like a day or something like that. And it's like Luke, I think, is a kid, younger. But that's really it. Like, A New Hope is his origin story. But my point is, I would want to see Star Wars somehow... If they went with that format, I want to see hero movies, but then I want to see the other side too. Like, give me a villain movie that talks about the villain's rise to power, or them conquering other planets while the hero origin movies, so to speak, are them maybe dealing with the aftermath of that, or those things are happening, and then subsequently through events they meet certain people and blah blah blah, and then the team movie, so to speak, the numbered entry, is this bad guy that's been sort of in the background the whole time is now in the forefront. So a modified, like, it's like if the first phase of Avengers, or maybe let's say phase 3. It's like if phase 3 of Avengers had a Thanos movie before Infinity War.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How would you feel about them going back and doing like an Obi-Wan trilogy with Ewan McGregor?
I mean, honestly, if Ewan McGregor's gonna do it, which he would, I'm fine. Like, do it. Show me. I want to see all kinds of shit that Obi-Wan did, especially with McGregor playing him. Bring back Hayden Christensen and give me a live action post, or an in between 2 and 3 Obi-Wan trilogy where he, Anakin's his Padawan, and maybe he does.
That's what would be. I think that would be a cool movie, to be honest with you. It's like, but the problem is, I think Hayden Christensen's probably aged too much to be
a Padawan.
Yeah.
Okay, pull in Ahsoka. Make her.
Yeah.
You could do that.
But I feel like he's already too old to play Anakin before he became Vader at this point.
Okay.
Because that was like, what was that, like 12 years ago?
Probably.
Or something like that. I mean, maybe they could pull it off. But it just seems like by the time it came out, yeah, it might be a little too long. But I would like to. I don't mind tying in the prequels a little bit more and making things feel a little more cohesive.
Yeah, Rogue One was a really good start, but maybe take it back just a little bit more. And I know they've got the TV show. Like, I get it. They have the Clone Wars TV show that bridges episodes 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Fine. But do something else with that era, because when you watch the movies, there's such a time jump between 2 and 3. Now, I get it. There's other time jumps, too. I understand that. But you're looking in the confines of a single trilogy.
Yeah.
And putting a huge gap between 2 of the movies. But I guess they're going to do that with 9 as well, as what they've said. There's going to be a time jump.
Well, they've talked about Hayden Christensen possibly being in episode 9 somehow. I don't know in what role. It's like, I don't know if just like all the Force ghosts ever are going to come back and be in the thing at one time. And it seems like if you do that too much, aren't you like cheapening death in this universe? Yeah. If Force ghosts can just come back and like interact with people, like why don't they just do it all the time? Like, what's the rule on that?
They fade in Return of the Jedi. I mean, okay, I think in the books, potentially in the Thrawn trilogy, it's been a while since I've read it, but I think Obi-Wan kind of has like a final conversation with Luke, and it's just like, I have to move on now, and moves on,
But how long's Yoda been hanging around when he comes into the Last
dies
Jedi?
In Return of the Jedi, and then that's true. And
then not he doesn't just show up, he like strikes the tree with lightning, So he's still powerful enough with the Force as a Force ghost to affect the physical universe of everyday life. That seems.
But you have to, you just have to credit that to. They kind of bill Yoda as the most powerful Jedi ever, in a sense. So I'm not 100% against that. Like, I think that.
But he can't. If you put them head to head, I mean, using Star Wars lore, it's tough to argue that Yoda would be more powerful
than Luke
or than Anakin, because Anakin's Star Wars Jesus. He was made by the Force, and he's supposedly the most powerful ever at that point. So, like, how do you explain How do you explain him not coming back and messing around and meddling? Maybe he did. Maybe you could make a trilogy of Anakin Force Ghost movies. Just, I don't know.
I don't have like any basis for this opinion or statement necessarily, but I wonder if just like the fact that he was part of the dark side for so long sort of taints his, I mean, unless you count like his redemption, but that doesn't like discredit his power or anything. It's just like
he still wouldn't, I don't know, just going to the dark side decrease the midichlorians in your body.
God.
I mean, it's there. It's part of the story, so you have to contend with it.
I will definitely, whether it's canon or not, I will refuse the idea of a midichlorian. Stupid.
Well, it's there, buddy.
I know.
I don't know. Something caught my eye the other night when Lazarus was watching Empire, and trying to think, was it? I believe so. How does Empire start off?
Hoth.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so that's it. I was right. We haven't gotten there in sequential Star Wars yet.
Right.
It's been a long time since I've seen that. Real quick, before I tell you the story that I was going to tell you, I have to make a quick sidebar. Visit the sidebar real quick and just grab a quick shot here. I don't know if I told you this, but after watching episodes 1 and 2, and then the 2 episodes of the Clone Wars and the Clone Wars movie,
Mm-hmm.
the animated series stuff is hands down, in my opinion, better than either of the first 2 films.
And you've had, you've seen how many episodes? Like 2?
2 episodes, because we're going in chronological order.
Right.
So there are like 2 episodes that happened before the Clone Wars movie. So,
okay.
So we watched those first, and then the Clone Wars movie, all the animated stuff. And it's like just head and shoulders above the first 2 films, in my opinion.
Really? Including the animated movie, or you haven't watched it?
Yeah.
Including the movie?
Yeah. Because it's like those 2 episodes and the movie, they all just like flow together really well. And there's like not really any downtime.
Uh-huh.
It's very action packed. It's not like it's perfect.
Right.
It's got some stuff where they're trying to like squeeze in some little kid humor at certain
Right,
parts.
because it was
like,
on Cartoon Network.
It's like you understand that. Okay,
Right.
That's fine. Whatever. But the story is much better. Much more engaging, I think.
I've never seen the movie. The Clone Wars movie.
I think you'd probably like it.
Well, now I
do.
need to watch the episodes first. Is
Yeah.
it just the first 2 episodes of the first season?
It's the first episode to watch is episode 16 of season 2, and the second episode
Interesting.
is episode 16 of season 1, and then the movie. So it's kind of
it's like the writers of the show were just like, hey, you know how George Lucas started with episode 4?
Yeah.
Let's do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, let's just keep with tradition and fuck up the timeline.
Yeah.
And release things way backwards.
So.
But that's cool. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to send me the link of that like chart or that
Yeah.
guide you
Yeah, I
found
can
to
do that.
watch everything in chronological order versus sequential.
Yeah, I'll do that. So, yeah, so the animated stuff's really good, I think. And that's why I'm excited at the prospect of Dave Filoni, if you're familiar with him. He's the guy who, like, he oversaw the Clone Wars,
Okay.
and he's overseeing, like, the reboot of Clone Wars, and he oversaw, like, Rebels.
Okay.
So everyone's like, please fire Kathleen Kennedy and just let Dave Filoni run things, because there's another fan theory going around that somewhere in Rebels they introduced time travel in the Star Wars universe.
Really?
So people are thinking, like, what if this is like a setup for episode 9 somehow, where they're going to be able to like go back and circumvent certain events that maybe shouldn't have happened and set things right. Who knows? But
I
don't know.
I think we've talked about it before, but I'm just still pissed off that the Knights of Ren haven't done anything.
Yeah, I know. It's so stupid. Like, there's so much potential with some of this
it's
stuff.
Such a
And it's
fucking
like,
cool idea.
but I needed to get on this hashtag.
Yeah.
Because I came up with a hashtag
Yeah.
to have Dave Filoni take over. And I wanted to start a movement of hashtag Felonious Assault. And let's get Dave Filoni in there.
I was thinking Felonious something. I was like,
Yeah.
it's gonna what is it? What's it gonna happen?
Felonious Assault
I love it.
to take back the Star Wars universe from Kathleen Kennedy and
Ruin Johnson.
Just ruining everything. You know that after the James Gunn stuff happened, that for some reason, like 20,000 of Rian Johnson's tweets were deleted. So it's like he must have been in scramble mode, like right after that news broke. Like, oh shit,
Yeah.
there was that stuff I said. Like, so unfortunately, no one got to him in time, and at this point, we're still looking at 3 Rian Johnson Star Wars movies after Episode 9.
Are we really?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
according to the plan, he still has not been fired.
I thought they were gonna give it. I thought they took it away because 8 underperformed.
No, not yet. They at that point they just well after Solo,
Bombed.
they just were like putting on hold all the Star Wars story movies, but his trilogy was never taken away from him up to this point. I think if Kathleen Kennedy's replaced, that whoever steps in for her is probably going to put the axe down on that, because
So are there rumors she's gonna be replaced?
there are rumors that she's already gone
Oh.
and that they haven't announced it yet. So, and that they might,
Which,
because
like, in a way, I almost feel bad for her. Like, it almost, not really knowing a ton about, like, the politics, it almost sounds like George sold Star Wars to Disney, gave it to Kathleen because he'd worked with her for so long and she'd been around, and then it's almost like the pressure got to her. I feel like somehow, I guess maybe I'm like trying to make excuses for her, but I just don't understand. Well, maybe because she spent so much fucking time around George Lucas. Like, God love him, but he fucking with my shit, it's just like I really feel like maybe it was just too much and she made a lot of bad decisions because I don't know, like it just seems like she dropped the ball. She wasn't ready to inherit Star Wars despite the amount of time she'd been a part of it.
I think her vision was too different for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think she wanted to make it something that it wasn't.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of fans revolted.
Right.
And even rebelled. They put up such a resistance.
Oh my god.
So, it's just, I don't know. Just and this brings me back to what I was thinking of. One of my big problems with Rey that we've talked about is her just magic ability to be the greatest Jedi of all time without doing any training.
Yeah,
and it's
Luke
like,
didn't do that.
and not only that, but okay, so at the beginning of Empire, when he's hanging upside down in the cave and he's like reaching for his lightsaber, he's like really exerting himself.
Yeah, he's really struggling.
Yeah, just to get it to move a little bit,
He has to stop, hang, really concentrate, and then try again.
And Rey goes from never having used the Force to like being the most
fighting
insane.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, and also to being the most insane pilot. You thought that Anakin was crafty in the pod race. Then you see Rey in The Force Awakens just zipping around and all this stuff, and then of course her fight with Kylo Ren, and then what happens in Force Awakens is just I don't. Yeah, she's just like that scene in Force Awakens, or not Force Awakens, in The Last Jedi. Lifting all those boulders up with no effort at all.
Yeah.
It's just insane that they would read through that and compare it to the original trilogy and be like, yeah, this seems good. We're not making Luke look like a fool at all here, or any of the other Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that was the point of Episode 8, I guess, is the past must die, and you're not gonna kill it in a nuanced way. You're just gonna like trample over it and act like any precedents that had been set up to that point were just completely pointless.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's almost... Sometimes it's like almost exhausting talking about Star Wars. Because you're just like, just do something cooler! Please! Be cool!
Did I show you the video that I made about the Vandor 1 playset? Those shitty playsets.
I saw it come out. I didn't watch
yeah.
the video, but I saw that it was just titled, like, do not buy Vandor playsets.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that playset when I was out at Target the other day. It was like, no. But I did see last night on JediInsider.com, they're releasing, I think it's what was it? Maybe a 6 or a 7 pack of various troopers, like in one box.
Okay.
And that looked pretty cool.
Yeah. Was it a Black Series thing or just like a...
No, it was just, I think it was
3.75 inch?
Yeah, it was like, it had the branding from Solo on it. It had that kind
okay.
of look to it. And I think some of the troopers were from Solo too.
Probably.
But
oddly enough, the one thing I never got around to it, but like one thing I wanted to collect from the Black Series was like just the troopers, because they put out a lot of different stormtroopers and stuff.
Yeah, I think I heard someone recently talking about how it would have been cool at some point in Star Wars history if they would have just released just like a big box with like 25 or 50 stormtroopers in it that you could buy just, to
have.
Yeah. I think
bad guys.
A kid would think that was sweet,
Yeah.
It's just like, because that's what you see in the Star Wars movies. You never see like one or two. They're always swarming in.
Right.
So it would be kind of neat to
Just
be
have an
able
endless
to,
supply of stormtroopers to throw at your toys.
instead of having to buy them one at a time, But I guess this box set that I was talking about, it's better than nothing,
Yeah.
For like $45. I was like, I'd pay that much. It's a much better deal than paying like $45 for that shitty cardboard play set.
Fucking bullshit. God damn. Star Wars, hire us.
Yeah. Just completely breaks down after you've played with it for 10 minutes.
Fuck that.
Yeah, no good.
Beer me.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, let me finish mine real quick.
Yeah, I pounded my Sam Adams there.
I've been sipping. This is a rare 8-pack, friends.
Yeah, that's like 50% of the reason we bought it. The other 50% of the reason is that this is Oddside Brewing Company's Beer Me.
There you go.
That's what it's called. Beer Me American Lager.
I've never seen this until tonight. Have you ever heard of this one?
No, I don't think so. It is. It's a very plain, very, very plain can, all silver, and there's just one sticker on it that seems to have. It seems to be gold, but I think it's just the lighting. It's probably silver, but it's a different.
The actual sticker?
Yeah.
I was wondering if it was translucent. Can you peel it off a little bit? Let me see here. Let's see if we can get some answers. Because it looks like it might just be.
Nope, it is a sticker. It is silver.
Is it actually silver?
It is. It's more.
Yeah, you're right.
It's silver, but it's more mirrored than the can.
Yeah.
It has like a chrome finish. But in what looks to be the Impact font,
yep,
it just says Oddside Beer Me.
All caps.
All caps. And then there's a bald eagle with American flag wings, and it just says American Lager. No description. 4.5% by volume. Alcohol by volume.
But they give you a damn 8-pack.
They do, but that's, yeah, so if 50% of the reason we bought it is because it's called Beer Me, and that is the name of this segment on the Super Divorce Supercast. And the other 50% was we reached in to grab it, and it was a fucking 8-pack.
I don't know if have you ever seen an 8-pack before?
No. And it was cheap as shit.
It was. Cheers.
Cheers. It's just slightly hoppier than your average drinkable beer.
Yeah, it's almost like a Bud Light or a Miller Light with like some hoppy notes.
Yeah, just tossed in a little bit. It's like it's an easy drinker, but you can tell that it's a little bit different. Just a little bit different.
This might be...
It's like a hoppy natty.
I wouldn't go that far. A natty?
I like natty.
Do you really?
I mean, one time I was at what I would like to be my hangout in Middletown. It's called Carol's Speakeasy Lounge.
You'd like it to be your hangout?
Yeah. So I went there once with Nancy, and it was like a Wednesday night, and they had like 75-cent natties or some shit.
Wow.
And I was just like, yes.
That seems like it would be illegal.
And maybe it was either 75 cents or like $1.25 natties or something.
Wow.
And I was like, I will take $1.25 natties.
Yeah. Natties.
And she cracked them open, set them in front of us, and went, big spenders over here. And I went, yep. And then I got a shot called a Johnny Vegas.
What was the Johnny Vegas?
I have no fucking idea. But it was good, and whenever I get drunk now, I would prefer if you called me Johnny Vegas.
that can be your stage name.
Johnny Vegas.
Johnny Vegas. Yeah. So, so Natural Light. I always have to talk about my great-grandfather. God rest his soul. He drank, and he always called it Natural Light. He never said natty. You know, of course.
Yeah, that's a beer pong thing.
Yeah. He was a World War II veteran, but it was the only beer that he drank. And he would always, he liked to drink it by, he would prepare it with a cup of ice.
No, he would
and then
not.
pour the Natural Light
God.
into the cup of ice, and then set it over on his little TV tray or whatever and watch hockey. He's a huge hockey fan, but that was his deal. He loved Natural Light.
Natural Light with ice.
Yeah.
I have never once in my fucking life put ice in a beer.
His wife, my grandma Betty, when she was alive, she did the same thing. They both drank their beer
With ice?
in a cup of ice.
That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's extra cold that way.
Yeah, but
But
the
it's going
water's
to get
down.
water. Yeah. But
The only thing that can make beer worse is if you water it down. Like, it's already bad enough.
Yeah. But I mean, you put ice cubes in your soda. So,
I mean, I attempt not to.
do you really?
I mean, like, if I buy a bottle, but if I'm drinking something at home.
Well, no, but when you go to like Chipotle or something,
Well,
get a
yeah, I
fountain
mean
drink,
a fountain drink. Yes, I will put ice.
why is it okay to put ice in a fountain drink, but not out of a 2-liter? Pouring into a cup.
Because the fountain drink doesn't necessarily come out cold. Not not refrigerator cold.
But if you're at a party and they've got 2 liters up on a table and like solo cups, you would want to scoop some ice into it before you poured your...
Yeah, but if I'm at a party, I would also assume that I'm going to be scooping alcohol into that drink, in which case I probably would not put ice into it.
What if it's a kid's party and it's just like pizza and soda and a big bucket of ice? Home city ice.
Yeah.
Healthier than homemade is what they say.
I would prefer I suppose in that scenario, but I would prefer cans in ice, or if the bottles were kept on ice versus putting ice into my cup. when my family gets together, we have, cans in coolers.
Cans and coolers.
Yeah, versus bottles with ice. Well, sometimes we have bottles with ice. Bottles where you put ice in your cup.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
2
liters are always cheaper.
It's true. That's true.
I prefer, like, if I'm buying for myself, I would rather have just like a 12-pack of Coke or whatever.
Same.
But
keep it in the fridge. It's cold.
Yeah.
Take it out. Drink it out of the can.
But if like 50 people are coming to my house, then I would not buy cans for 50 people, or that. I mean, that's a pretty large number. But let's say even 15 or 20. I would rather just buy 2 liters.
Yeah. Or you could buy cheap cans like Big K.
I don't want to do that. I don't like doing that. See, and it's not all about being cheap either. The problem is when you have people over and you go to the trouble of buying cans, half the time they leave them. You get so many that you go around and collect, and you can just, and it's like, God damn it, someone took one drink out of this and let it sit.
Yep.
And you waste so much money. If people leave like drinks from a 2 liter sitting around, it's like, whatever, you paid $1 for the 2 liter or something,
Yeah, I'm behind that. I got it. I get it.
You got it.
I get it.
It's all good. What do you think of this TV over here, Bender?
It's a nice TV.
I picked it up on the side of the road the other night.
Hell yeah, does it work?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Does
it have a VCR in it?
No, I think it predates the VCR TV combo.
Yeah.
But it's got the nice wood panel around it.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a good looking TV.
There was a scary moment. I took it out of my trunk and, it was parked down the driveway and it just toppled right out. And I had to like kick my foot out. So like it landed on my leg and then fell over to the side. So it got a little split right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was worried when I brought it in, but it works.
Awesome.
It's fine. Yeah. So it's all good.
Got the nice domed front.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What do you call that? A convex?
I think so.
The concave is when it goes in.
Yeah, so it'd be a convex screen.
Yeah. The convexitron.
We're all obsessed with our flat screens now, but we don't remember that your TV used to look like it was slowly exploding from the inside.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everything comes back around, though. At some point, they're going to release TVs like this.
Bubble screen, we'll call it, or the new way to experience. Well, they got curved TVs.
But those are convex.
Yeah. No, concave.
This is convex.
That's concave.
Yeah. What I was pointing to it.
Math! Yeah, this is convex. The TVs that are out now that are curved are concave.
Yeah. And they're supposed to look the same from like
every angle,
wherever you are in a room. Picture is supposed to look just as good.
You know how I combat that? I sit in front of the TV.
Yeah. I feel like you're taking great lengths to make sure that your house guests are taken care of.
Yeah, my house guests. Just buy a bigger TV. It doesn't have to be curved. Just buy a bigger.
My TV's not. I don't have a curved TV, and I feel like you can see it pretty well from.
Everybody can watch it.
Yeah.
I've told you, but I'm trying to. For my birthday this year, I'm gonna get a big ass TV.
What's your birthday again?
September 4th.
The 4th. You know what you should do?
What's that? Memorial Day sales?
No.
Labor Day sales? What?
I was gonna say hold off just a little bit longer.
Black Friday.
Because that's where I got mine.
Mm-hmm.
At Best Buy for like $600 or something like that. This year, my TV will probably be on sale for like $350. So it's just like.
Yes. What did you have, a 65-inch?
60 or 65. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, something like that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Because my parents said they would help me buy it. So, depending on how much they decide to put in, I might like jack it all the way up and get like a 72-inch TV. Because I'm gonna hang it on a wall, and I have a huge room to hang it in. So yeah, I do want to be able to like see it from pretty much anywhere.
Big ballin'.
Mm-hmm. It's like the one thing, Cause like I mean, you haven't been over to my house yet, which you need to come over soon, and see my. We should do the podcast at my house sometime.
That'd be cool.
But my living room is long. It's very long. So on the one end, there's just like a huge wall, nothing on it. Other than there's a credenza in front of it. But I want something mass. I like it's large enough that I considered getting a projector to to project movies onto, and getting a screen and whatnot. But I think I'm just gonna settle for a very large television, and I'm trying to set it up to be like, okay, this is probably, this is the last television I need to buy for like a long time. So I'm kind of just like, well, might as well just like really fucking go there, and get a huge one and just not buy a TV for the next 15 years.
Well, this TV that sits in my office here on my desk, I got that in, I think I got that in 2007. It's still working pretty well.
I've had the same TV for about that long.
Yeah. Still a good quality picture too.
Yeah, so's mine. My TV's great, but I just want, because of the room that I have now, and because I'm buying this house, I just want a very large entertainment area.
It's crazy that this other I've got an old school big screen. Now I have 3 TVs in my office now. So I've got this wood panel one I picked up. This is probably like maybe a 20-inch?
Probably.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then next to that one, I've got an old school big screen TV that I found at Goodwill a few years ago. And it's like...
It's such a thing. Like, it's...
Yeah. I mean, there's like a whole display on top. It's got that kind of... What would you call that?
It's like a vinyl screen almost. Like
it makes that sound when you run your fingers across it.
Like, I don't even know what the fuck. I don't know.
But it's the rear projection screen, I believe, is what those were called.
It's so great.
It's definitely thick with like 5 C's.
Yeah.
and it's a Hitachi.
It's like I don't know why, but it feels like a camping tent.
Yeah, it does, actually.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's what, when you go camping, that's what your tent feels like.
Yeah, I have a great idea for the screen. Let's use like the camping tent material. Yeah, that's what they did.
Oh.
But
and then we have a nice, probably like a 55-inch.
That's a 42.
42?
Actually. Yeah.
Mine's probably the same size then.
And that one was like that was like, Jesus, what was that? I feel like that was around $2,000 or something like that.
Bought it?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
For a 42-inch LG, it was almost like $2,000.
42 inches are like $100.
I know. It's so crazy how fast TV prices have dropped over the course of the past 10 years or whatever.
You can go to Walmart and buy a 42-inch 4K HD TV for like $300.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're nothing.
But
it is insane.
I don't even know if they made some of the size TVs when I bought that one that they do now.
Probably not.
If they did, they were probably like $6,000.
Right. But you said you got this in like 2007?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been a while
since I have bought a TV screen.
There was a guy in my, what was it? I think I was a sophomore.
That dude does fucking country music now.
What was his name? Aaron something?
Something, yeah. I have seen a video on YouTube, or on Facebook, I mean, and it's like Aaron so-and-so, singing a song, and like, I only know this because like the border for the video is like all, old Western and stuff. And it's acoustic, and he's like wearing flannel and jeans and and cowboy boots, and then like he's singing "It's Been a While," and I was like, "Motherfucker, this is from your emo phase. Like, don't pretend that like you're this big country artist now, but then you're gonna sing your damn Stained songs."
Well, so it's okay, or maybe it's not okay. I don't know. I'm assuming here. Is it okay to go from being a country artist to a mainstream pop artist like Taylor Swift? Can you be a
I don't listen to her country stuff. I mean, if that's,
No, I'm just saying. Is it cool to do that? Is that more acceptable than to go from being like mainstream, like pop rock?
I just
shit
look
rock
at it as like
to...
I enjoy Taylor Swift's pop music. I listen to it because I like it, not because she used to be country and became pop. I don't particularly care for Stained. I know the words to some of their radio songs, I never got into them, but would I like his country music? Probably fucking not, because I don't like country.
Okay, but not for you personally.
So, I mean...
Let's just say as an artist, do you think it's okay to jump into a completely different genre like country music where you have to like make yourself over? We did it. Yes, we did.
Yeah, so yes. As an artist, just in a general sense, yeah, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
He was in a cock rock band, and then he went to country. Like, fine.
It's just... That's an unorthodox move, let's say. It doesn't happen very often.
But Hootie and the Blowfish did it too.
Yeah, Darius Rucker.
Yeah, Darius Rucker. He went from Hootie, which is, a pop band, 90s alt rock.
Yeah.
He went from that to country. He does country music now. And it's like, fine. Whatever.
The first country song I heard from him was the Burger King crispy chicken... what was that?
I don't think I heard that one.
He did a commercial for Burger King, and he was singing a country song, and he was dressed up like a cowboy. The crispy chicken something cheddar or bacon ranch. Maybe it was crispy chicken cheddar bacon ranch.
Huh.
Crispy chicken cheddar bacon ranch, and he was playing guitar and singing about chicken. Whatever happened to the one guys from freecreditreport.com?
I knew that's what you were going to say.
Did you?
I fucking knew it. Whatever happened to those guys? Oh.
Yeah.
Report.com.
Freecreditreport.com. Should have seen it coming at me like an atom bomb.
They had a long run.
I know.
With Free Credit Report. They had different songs every time.
Yeah, I kind of miss those guys. But no one's...
Report.com, baby.
As far as commercials go, I think the longest tenured spokespeople, we've talked about this, I believe.
The Sonic Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing Sonic commercials longer than anyone else has been doing any commercials.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Sonic the Burger Joint, not the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Just for fun, they should get those guys to do the ads for the next Sonic the Hedgehog game.
That would be funny.
Just to throw everyone off. That'd be really cool. They could pull up to a generic drive-in burger joint, and then like their food appears like, and it's like, who brought our food to us? And then it like cuts to the window, and you see Sonic like wagging his finger,
like he does.
like
I
he
know
does.
Exactly what you're. Yeah.
Yeah. You know. And then you cut back to the car, and they've both been replaced by Dennis Nedry. You didn't say the magic word.
You didn't say the magic word.
That always pissed me off.
I know. And it's like a girl in a cheetah bikini.
Yeah. Yeah. Old Dennis Nedry.
Is that the actor's name?
No, his name is Wayne Knight.
Really?
Dennis Nedry is just the character he plays. Wayne Knight. He's also very well known for his character Newman on Seinfeld. I'm not sure if you've ever watched.
Not once.
Really?
Not once.
Man, we should do a watch through of Seinfeld. I think you'd like it. I really do. It's hard to not like Seinfeld, I feel. It's just, I don't know how...
I don't know if I can drink this one.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm going to drive to... I'm probably going to go to Cincinnati after this.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to... Yeah.
So I'm going to pass.
Bender's tapping out.
Tapping out on the beers at 2.
I'm going to beer myself.
Beer yourself, boy.
So... yeah. Still got a... Yeah. Still got a live video to do tonight, too.
Really?
Yeah. I think I'm going to go through... Andrew is up in Detroit.
Is he?
And
Is he
went,
bringing back some American Badass?
Yeah, he is.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But he
Hell
sent me a bunch of pictures earlier today. He was at some museum, I believe, and they've got a Star Wars display.
Really?
And it's like a bunch of costumes.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you?
It was in Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, same thing at this museum, and he took a million pictures and sent them. So maybe I'll go through some of those in a live video. And
Yeah, I still have some on my phone too.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Looked really cool.
Yeah, it was a really cool exhibit. They were a little heavy on the Padme outfits, but she had more outfits than like anybody else in Star Wars, which is fine.
Yeah.
It was an amazing exhibit. My mom and I went. And
where was it in Cincy?
The History Museum. What was it? What's it called? Star Wars. It's called like Force of the Costume or Power of the Costume or something like that. And they just have all these actual it's all actual costumes from the movies.
And there was an actual Yoda puppet from Return of the Jedi, I think, is what he said.
I don't know if maybe he saw a different exhibit then.
Oh, okay.
Possibly. Maybe he saw an installation.
Yeah.
Whereas the one I saw was a traveling exhibit.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I don't really remember seeing a Yoda puppet. I remember seeing so when episode 1 came out on home video before DVD, my dad came home from work one night and he had the VHS special edition of Phantom Menace that he brought home for us. And it came with the tape and it came with a film reel, like a excerpt from the film. And it came with an art book. And I used to love flipping through the art book. And there were a number of, probably like 2 pages of designs for Darth Maul before they landed on what they landed on. And at the exhibit, when I was there with my mom, they had, Darth Maul's robes. They talked about they had Darth Maul, I think Qui-Gon, Mace Windu, and potentially Obi-Wan were all on a circular stand together that you could walk around and you could hit buttons and it would activate their lightsabers. But on the walls, they had concept art for Darth Maul. You haven't seen it yet, but you will because you're watching Clone Wars. Eventually, on Clone Wars, they get to Dathomir, and that's where the Night Sisters are, and that's where the Zabraks, Darth Maul's race, are from. They're from Dathomir. When you get there, I believe the Queen Witch, she wears like all red. She has a black and white face, kind of a head scarf, but it comes to a point. Okay, she's a Night Sister. Just keep in mind when you're watching Clone Wars, the design for the Queen Night Sister is a concept design for Darth Maul.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
I saw, just watching Cartoon Network as a kid, and seeing previews for like the new season, you know, and seeing that the Night Sisters were going to be introduced, which they're introduced in a book called The Courtship of Princess Leia in the old EU.
In the Legends.
In the Legends. It's the old EU. Anyways, that's where the Night Sisters and the Witches of Dathomir are introduced. But so when you're watching Clone Wars, when they get to Dathomir, the one of the big Night Sisters is modeled after, like not modeled after, is literally a concept of Darth Maul.
I'll have to keep an eye out for that.
I always thought that was a really cool connection that I noticed.
I remember them mentioning Dathomir somewhere in Solo.
Really?
Yeah, someone was talking about going to Dathomir, or someone was from. I can't remember exactly.
That's where Raincors are from.
Okay.
In the Legends, they go to Dathomir because Han Solo wins the planet in a card game, and
the whole planet.
Yes, he wins like the deed to the planet, and this is post Empire. Obviously, Leia is she's not like the Supreme Chancellor. I think Mon Mothma is still in the picture, but Leia is like up there.
Okay.
As like, you know, a senator, and she is trying to reach out to all these planets and get them to join the new alliance. And this prince from a distant land, a distant planet, and a very technologically advanced planet, I can't remember his name, Leia is just sitting and just being gifted like thing after thing from all of these planets that are joining the new alliance, the new galactic alliance. And the last ones to come in are this technologically advanced planet, and it's like a prince, and he walks up and he says, you know, we will join the alliance, which is like a huge deal, if you'll marry me. And she basically like agrees to marry him in order to have this. It's not just one planet. I think it's like a whole. I don't want to say galaxy. A whole like
system.
A whole system. If she marries this prince, this entire system will join the alliance. So she agrees, and Han Solo gets jealous, and he stuns her like with a stun gun, like in Episode 4, and he carts her off to this planet that he won, Dathomir, which not only has old Imperial installations on it, but they also run into the Night Sisters and the Witches of Dathomir. And basically the Witches of Dathomir are Force users, but they channel the Force through spells and dust and fire and things. So it's really interesting. I really liked that book because of the different take on the Force. It's like they always talk about how the Force flows through everything, and if you just concentrate, like anybody can use it and manipulate the Force. And I always thought it was really interesting how these people, as a group, interpreted their use of the Force. Like Luke can just do whatever he wants because he was taught, just reach out and bend the world to your will, whereas the Night Sisters, their philosophy and what they believe and how they're able to harness the Force is by saying magic words and doing spells and things. And I think it was always just a really interesting perspective, I thought.
That is cool. It shows you that it's interesting that both ways are effective.
Yeah.
But they're coming at it from different angles.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, because they haven't obviously explored the spell approach to it in as much depth as they have with what the Jedi do. By the way, is it Jedi plural? Jedi or Jedis?
It's Jedi.
Jedi.
I just Jedi.
Okay, so I thought that sounds right. Feels right. But it would be interesting to see, you know, if one's superior to the other, you know, like what, or even the origin of how the witches, maybe there is something like that in the legends.
It might be in the Clone Wars show,
where it shows you how they learned about channeling the Force through the use of spells and such.
Right.
That would be interesting too.
Well, you know, and again, in the old EU, you know, another example is there's a comic series called Dawn of the Jedi, and it talks about how the Force was sort of brought into the galaxy and how it was taught by this like time traveling race, you know, that built these gates that zap you across the galaxy and la-di-da, whatever. And so there's like a Jedi Academy before they were Jedi, an academy of Force users, and originally the Force was like mastery of the Force meant balancing your use of dark and light, essentially being a gray Jedi.
Yeah.
But in that comic series, I always thought it was interesting that they had lightsabers, but they were only able to activate the lightsabers by channeling the dark side of the Force into the handle, and then the blade would be activated. But they had to use the Force to activate the lightsaber, and only the dark side. And that was back when Sith was a race, not a bad Jedi.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, but that's Legends now.
That's Legends now. I'm pretty sure all the comics, all the Dark Horse comics are Legends. I have all of Dawn of the Jedi though. It's a good series.
Wouldn't it be really cool if Marvel let Rian Johnson redo the entire Old Republic and everything?
Nope.
just definitively get rid of everything you just said, because that was one of his things. God, that interview was so annoying, where he's like, there are so many good Star Wars stories out there, you know, and that was like one of the obstacles. Like, there's so many good stories that people have written. We just knew we couldn't do any of those, so we had to do something different. It's like,
fuck him.
Who told you couldn't do any of those? You know, like no one told you that these. You just didn't want to use someone else's story. No one has ever, like, since George Lucas, and Rian Johnson, you're no George Lucas, sir. No one has ever been given a Star Wars movie to just write on their own,
right,
without any sort of input or oversight. But why would they do that with him? It's just like, it blows my mind that out of all people, a guy who had never directed a big budget action movie before. I mean, he had Looper,
right, which is mediocre.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen the movie. I feel like it's a pretty good movie. I've heard it's pretty
I
good.
liked it.
Yeah,
because I remember when it might be on an old podcast where I feel like maybe you told me that the guy who did Looper was going to be doing the next Star Wars movie.
Because he did Brick. Mm-hmm. And I was really pumped because Brick is such a good movie.
And I've never seen Brick,
it's
fantastic. I saw Looper and I loved it. And I was like, oh, the guy who did Looper is going to do Star Wars? That might be really cool. But then it was just like,
he fucked it up.
And
it's like the story in Brick, and I have to imagine the story in Looper as well, is just so good and so meticulous and so well thought out. And then it's like you did Star Wars and just...
What was the whole deal where he was like, I wanted to write a movie that half the fans were going to hate and half would love.
Why?
Yeah, like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you write a movie that all the Star Wars fans would love? Because it's not... When you're... At this point,
all the fans hate it.
Yeah, mostly, yeah. I would say there's a small contingent of people who are like, apologists, and they're like, oh,
Yeah,
no,
the
it wasn't that.
Imperials.
Yeah, the Imperials. Yeah, that's what they should be
First
called.
Order of Johnson.
But I don't know. Why would you do that as a content creator? Stepping in. Imagine anyone else doing that. Like imagine like, okay, a band has to replace their vocalist for some reason.
Yeah.
And the guy comes in, he's like, well, I really wanted to approach this next record in a way that was going to make half the fans hate it and half of our fans love it. And it's like, no, that's not your job. Your job is to make all of the fans love it because they're fans. You shouldn't be trying to divide them.
Yeah,
Like,
intentionally. It's like if you come into something and you give it your all, trying to make all the fans happy, and then there's a divide, that's one thing. Like, that's on the fans. But when you go into it, in any situation, movie, music, whatever, and you go, I want to do something that's going to piss off half of my fan base. Why would you do that? What's the point? What's the end game pissing off half the people that love the thing that you're in charge of?
The only thing I can think of is just to be, it's like serving your ego 100%.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the guy that does this, that no other director would do. I'm going to be the one who kills Luke Skywalker. Well, you're not even going to do that because he's coming back in the next movie. So all you've done is you've made a horrible Star Wars film that no one is going to feel the need to ever... No one's going to be sitting around 20 years from now and like in good faith be like, I really want to watch The Last Jedi today. It might be something where people are talking about it and they're like, how fucking bad was that movie? I don't know. I haven't watched it since 2018.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's dare you to watch it.
I dare you.
Let's get drunk and watch Last Jedi together.
Yeah. You shouldn't be saying that about a Star Wars movie. You know? So, I don't know.
I'm
really
over
awful.
you, Ruin Johnson.
Yeah. He ruined it. He really did. But he's about to be deleted, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I showed you some of the comments back and forth with that dude who was arguing with me.
Yeah.
That kept going.
Did it really?
Yeah. That kept going for a while. Man. I'm trying to find the last one. What did he say? Yeah, here it is. Hold on. I had a lively debate with a gentleman on our YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, please do so. youtube.com/superdivorce. Go ahead and sub. Let's see. Did he write back and I didn't see it? Let me see. His last response. What did he say? He said, J.J. Abrams thinks very, very highly of Hamill's award-winning performance in the last...
What awards did Mark Hamill win for The Last Jedi?
And would never dismiss Hamill's work. There's nothing you can do to change that, and J.J. certainly won't change it because of the fans. Asked if fan outcry would at all impact his vision for the upcoming film, Abrams was clear, not in the least.
That guy just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand. First of all, it's a fucking joke.
Yeah, a big part of that video is a joke. I'm not joking when I say that I think that J.J. Abrams, in all seriousness, I really do believe that behind the scenes he has to feel some resentment towards Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
No.
When you're like, I had to pass my story off to this guy, and he basically just took all of the interesting questions that I set up with my film and kind of discarded them unceremoniously.
Yeah.
No, there's no way that J.J. Abrams is like about The Last Jedi.
I don't think so.
I think he's going to do everything that he can to delete The Last Jedi from the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
That's probably why the movie's got to be split in two. Because, like, we have to figure out a way.
You have to retcon 8 and then, set it right
Yeah.
in 10.
It's like, that's going to be half of it. Half of the movie is going to be them trying to figure out a way to make Episode 8 basically null and void. And then the second half of Episode 9 will be the actual Episode 9.
Right. I don't know. We'll see.
And they don't have the cojones to just call Part 1 Episode 8 like our friend on Twitter had suggested. Yeah. So, I don't know. Well, let's see. So you said you're going to be heading to Cincy. What are you doing there?
Hanging out with my friend.
Cool. What's going on? You going to a show or going to...
No, I'm just chilling.
Just chilling?
Yep.
JC?
Mm-hmm.
Is it downtown?
Yeah. Yeah, right by UC.
Okay. So you could walk over to 16-bit.
Probably.
Not saying you're going to.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Man, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. All right, well, I feel like
pretty solid cast.
Solid cast, guys.
Solid cast.
So, stick around for the outro, okay? Hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Episode 95 of the Super Divorce Supercast. We will be back next week with episode 96. I want you to teach me a Muay Thai.
I went down. Let me down.
No, I cannot. Yeah, we'll be back next week with another episode for you. And what? You got something?
No, I was just gonna branch off of that and go into in the meantime.
Yeah.
While you're waiting
In the meantime,
while you're waiting for that, make sure you check us out all across the interwebs. You can visit us at superdivorceme.com. While you're there, make sure you stop by the Superstore. You can pick up our new album. Well, almost a year old.
Almost.
Our album, Action Figures, on compact disc, cassette, or vinyl record. And follow us all across social media, facebook.com/superdivorce, Twitter @superdivorce, and Instagram @superdivorceband. If you want to follow me on social media, you can find me on Instagram @benderbutt. And please also follow my show with my mom, Monday Momster Movies, on Instagram and Facebook.
Momster.
Yeah, MOMSTER. Monday Momster Movies. I force her to watch horror movies and then hold her at gunpoint and make her talk about it.
Such a lovely son.
We're having a lot of fun. It's so great.
And if you want to follow me over on Twitter, look me up @Nicholas Villars and @Nicholas Villars on Instagram.
@Confetti Spirit Dancer.
On Twitter. Yeah. You can look me up @Nicholas Villars or @Confetti Spirit Dancer. I should come up under that. I think it works that way.
I don't know. Mine is Bumblebee Moonclover.
Yeah. So, so that about wraps it up for tonight, folks. Thanks for joining us. We're going to have some good stuff coming out soon. My computer's working again.
Yes.
So lots of content is going to be flooding you from this channel. So make sure you sub, bong the gong for notifications again, when we go live that way. And then leave comments, and then for our daily live videos, join us and join live chats, because that's always fun too.
Yes, it is.
So until next time.
I don't know. Please look forward to enjoying, chefs.
Super Divorce.